Longing going on there.
I know, it's the binging. Oh, hi, Gia.
Hi, Keisha. Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
hi, everybody. It's July 3rd,
It's
2025.
July 4th Eve.
July 4th Eve. Yep. Yep.
Put out your stockings.
Maybe that's what we should do. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I like
Make
it,
it a
Gia.
different holiday. Yeah.
Yeah, it's time to mix it up. It's time to mix it up.
This is one of my mom's favorite holidays. Um,
Fourth or the 4th of
the
July one?
4th, the 4th of July. Yeah, she was always big about it. I'm not sure why, but
Yeah, interesting. Did she bake a pie?
I don't remember if we had pie, but there was always, cookouty kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Some years
yeah.
we'd all have matching T-shirts. That kind of, it was like
Really?
a big
Oh.
energy. Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
that would be interesting to see all of you in
yeah.
your matching T-shirts.
Matching T-shirts, and yep,
Yeah, yeah,
and a lot of the like home fireworks, and then go to whatever big city fireworks there were to be had.
I see.
Yep,
Okay. So your
yep,
parents were into the pyrotechnics then?
yep,
Or
yep,
or was
yeah.
it just sparklers?
Oh, we always had sparklers. Well, yeah, and one
Yeah.
year she put sparklers all over a cake,
Uh-oh.
and
I don't
yes,
like where this is
exactly. And
going.
at first it was like she brought it out, and it was like our family and my cousins, and we were like, I was like, woo, and then suddenly it was like, oh, danger, and the tablecloth lit on fire, and the poor cake had to be beaten, you know.
Oh, no. I
But it
hate
was
it when a cake is
spectacular.
lost.
Oh
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Oh, it was gonna be lost. I
Uh,
mean, I don't know what she was thinking. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't remember if my aunt, her sister, was involved.
uh-huh.
Obviously, even one sparkler can be a little bit dangerous, but she had like,
Sure.
a cake full of sparklers.
Wow.
It
Well,
was
another
very
piece of the
exciting.
puzzle,
It
everyone,
was
right?
all
I think
very
that's what we're
exciting.
all thinking. You have a bit of your mom in you.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
was razzle dazzle there for a minute,
Yeah, yeah.
and a good story after that for a
Sure,
long
sure,
time.
sure. Nothing like a lovely
Yeah.
spectacle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so thanks for
Yeah.
allowing me to reminisce about our July 4th. And we've got July 4th happening, concurrently on General Hospital. We'll have a lot of,
We do. We do.
and then
And
people apparently get quite sexy feeling on the 4th of July in Port
yeah, there's
Charles.
gonna be a lot of making out, I guess, in the city of Port Charles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you remember, that was what Drew, and they Drew and Willow together. Drew. Like that was their big excuse. The
Yeah.
fireworks,
Yeah. Yeah, that was all. I mean, if it had been any other holiday, maybe not, there wouldn't be
Yeah,
any
right.
problem, you
Right.
know?
They felt the earth move
Yeah.
under,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure.
Anyway,
Sure.
so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, and just as that you could serve as a cautionary tale, anyone who's thinking about going out, like mixing it up tomorrow night, just be careful because the
Be-
effect of the
yeah.
fireworks is powerful.
It's
Bring some rubbers,
yeah.
perhaps.
Take a look at who you're standing next to. Make sure
Yeah,
you're
make a
like
good
standing next to somebody you
choice.
want to stand next to
Yeah, yeah,
before the
yeah.
fireworks commence. Yeah,
It's all
exactly.
about good choices, I think.
Right, right.
Yeah. So I think we've done our PSA maybe for the
Okay.
night. Yeah.
All right.
I thought,
Um
we're always helping, we're always giving, so it could happen again. We don't
I
know.
know. Just by living our lives, we are a cautionary tale.
Oh, so much,
Just
so
take a
much.
look. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Train wreck here.
Yeah. Do the opposite.
Yeah, please.
So let's see. Today is Thursday, so we have
Yeah,
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah. And I think pretty much every storyline that they were following sort of bled from one day into the next. I don't know. There might
Yeah.
have been some that were isolated to Tuesday. I guess so we had Natalia, the departure of our
Yeah. Yeah.
Natalia, which we had just of course we had just come around and loved her suddenly,
She
as
did
we
well
will.
she did her best work in the final week there. Like I
Yeah.
finally was seeing this character.
Yeah.
Um
And the actor's chops. I mean, she did
yes,
like
exactly. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so they really did her a disservice by not allowing her to show us, everything she had.
I saw some
Yeah.
quote from the Frank the
Yeah,
whatever,
Valentini.
yeah, the top dog, and he
Mhm.
made it sound like, I don't know if this was for real or if he was making it sound this way to so that it wouldn't look like they had canned her, but it
Mhm.
made it sound as if like she was brought in just for like a spot, like
Yeah.
highlighting an actor that they wanted to bring on, that it was never intended to be a full-time character.
Right, right. Yeah, that's what one of
Mm.
my work friends, Kim, said. She read that too. And I guess it was nice that they kept her, but still, like if you're gonna bring on somebody that you know is good and you brought her on because she's good, then why not invest a little more, you know?
Yeah, and why not have something in mind from the
Yeah.
get-go? And like they
Yeah.
really fumbled her in the
Yeah.
beginning and then tried
Mhm.
to remake her into kind of a little more goody two shoes, and then tried to
Mhm.
throw her in as a love interest for Sonny, and then
Yeah.
it felt like they just were throwing spaghetti at the wall or something, and
Mhm. Yeah.
when the best thing they did with her was allow her to be an absolute frazzled mess, hot mess
Yeah,
of a basket
yeah,
case.
just watching her break was quite
Yeah,
heartbreaking
and
in a
then
way.
like that's where she's shown,
Yeah, she
shown,
really shone,
shined,
shined. She
shown,
was she was shiny.
shown. Is shown
Just
past
give us
tense
a
of
few
shine?
minutes. We're just gonna play with the words for a minute, okay, everybody? Just sit
Is
tight.
that but is that correct? Past tense of shine is shown?
Shown. I
Sounds
wanna say
weird.
yes, but it does sound weird. But a lot of words sound weird if you just focus
Keep
on them.
saying them, yeah,
You
yep.
know? But yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
yeah, so
so
bummer. She
very
looked
big
really
bummer.
dead. She even did a good job looking dead there in that
She
last scene.
did, she was good on the hospital bed, she was
Yep,
good on the
yep,
couch,
yep.
yep, everywhere,
Now,
yeah.
are we to believe that there was no foul play, like that was simply her own, like we didn't see anything that would indicate that she was murdered, right?
Right,
I mean,
right, I'm
she was
thinking
driven into a very bad mental state by
yes,
everything, but
everything, yes, yes, I think she was yeah, she was obviously very despondent, and maybe, like, if she'd been sober, she wouldn't have taken all those pills, she would have I
no, we
maybe
didn't see anybody replace medication
no,
or
no,
put
we didn't.
anything in the alcohol. There was no,
Right, right.
I mean, we like they can always go back and insert things that we the viewers,
Mhm. Mhm.
weren't privy to at the time, but I
Mhm.
think we're to believe that she simply, I don't know if you'd say she committed suicide. She accidental suicide, perhaps. Is that a
Yeah,
thing?
I think that's what I would call it, yeah. I think, yeah, just the effects
Mm.
of the drinking and the situation, led her down a
Yeah.
dark path, yeah. Um,
And the guilt that Marco must have.
yeah,
Um,
always if your last conversation was a blowout,
and you
that's
were on your way there.
on your way there and stopped to do a good
Yeah.
deed,
Do you think he's gonna grow to resent Christina because he saved her, but in saving her, he used up precious time that, like, wouldn't you be thinking, if I hadn't stopped, I would have
Yeah.
caught my mother before she OD'd?
Yeah, lots of thoughts. Yeah, lots of thoughts on this. Like he did sort of already show that he's very angry with Sonny, that thinks Sonny's to blame at least in part. So I'm afraid he's gonna like sort of go in with his dad and become a
Mm.
bad guy. I hope that doesn't happen because like you said, I think last time I think I'm starting to like him and Lucas as a couple and I love the
I
Lucas
know,
that
me
we're
too.
seeing.
Yeah.
Lucas is so tender and caring. He's so loving, it's very
He
nice.
doesn't, he's not on your team, so
I know, but I
give it
why
up.
not? Also, I was thinking, I know you want me to dress up as Tracy when you come up,
Well,
and I
just a
don't
thought. I could, mainly I think that because you have the hair that we could do hair things with.
do you know how to do a French braid?
God, I used to, because you do that with
Really?
a. I hate to tell you how I know that.
With a horse.
Yes.
Oh, you're the kind of kid who braided her horse's mane or tail or whatever.
What do you mean kind of kid? What does that mean? The kind of kid. I didn't do it just like for shits and giggles. I would
You
do
didn't.
it because I was in a horse show where it was part of the required
So you're
like
supposed to
look.
whore them up? Did you put like glitter on its eyelids?
You so do not get what the whole like English riding scene is about.
Ouch, that hurts.
It's all very like, or I don't know, maybe it's not anymore, but it's so not about like shininess and like glittery things. It's all,
Mhm.
understated elegance. You have no idea. I don't, I just don't, you couldn't have hacked it. I don't.
I'm not drunk. I'm just thinking. I can't get this out. I'm just thinking about the description of you and your husband going into that fancy restaurant.
I know. Yeah.
And then
In
you're
my
all
in
about
my
the
train conductor
understated
overalls.
elegance.
Yeah, yeah. Understated elegance, yeah. Well,
Ah,
I'm far removed from the horse show world, and
yeah, I'll say.
yeah. And to be honest, like the look of the horse was way more important than the look of the rider. Although I did that properly
Mm,
as well at the time.
of course you
Hey,
did.
do you
Yeah.
want to know about the past tense of shine?
Okay.
Just to back up a little bit. I think I used it properly. Um,
Okay.
it can be shown or shined. Both are correct.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, but listen to this. This is like, okay, turn your English major hat on.
Okay.
Okay. Both are correct, though shined is often preferred when the verb has a direct object. Okay, direct.
Okay.
For
Uh-huh.
example, he shined his shoes. Okay.
Ah,
And shown is more common when the verb doesn't have a direct object. For example, the sun shone. So I think when I said Natalia
shown,
shone
shown.
in that
Yes.
moment, that would be the
Yes.
correct choice.
I agree, Gia. Well done. Well done. Kudos.
I even
Kudos to
kind of
you.
remember what a direct object is. Isn't that amazing?
Amazing. Amazing.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember? What was it called? Uh, where you did the little weird like thing with sentences. I'm blanking on
Diagramming sentences.
diagramming sentences. Do you remember doing
Mhm.
that?
I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, it was a tormenting exercise. It was,
Yeah, I don't remember it being called that when I was a kid, but we must have done something like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I
Maybe you
think.
like, did you go to a like warmer, fluffier school? Like maybe you embraced sentences or something like that.
Maybe.
Whereas we were being like, no, you were diagramming these sentences. And then in multiplication tables, we had a lot of like, I remember a lot of drilling when I grew
It sounds like
up.
you got a bit of PTSD.
I think I do. But
Mhm.
looking back, I'm like, oh, I wish I understood what they were trying to teach me at the time. I was just terrified of
Of the
of
beatings,
the process
the
itself.
name calling. Was there some name calling?
Like, do you remember how wound up they got about teaching us how to do footnotes because we
Oh
didn't
god.
have computers yet, and you were
Yeah,
like getting out
yeah.
your freaking ruler, like, oh my god, don't type any further, oh my god.
Oh, I know. Also,
Nobody
I
cared about like the content of the paper. It was like,
yeah, and sort of the concept behind the footnote, which is to give credit where
right, to
credit's
give
due.
credit. Yeah, yeah.
Of course, now everybody's doing their papers with
Oh, what a
ChatGPT and stuff.
nightmare.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
what a
know, that would be
nightmare.
awful, awful. But
Yeah.
anyway, we
Oh, we
digress.
seriously digressed. Okay.
Seriously, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Marco,
Whew.
yeah, I think you
Mhm.
are right to fear that Marco will go to the dark side.
Because if
Um,
he does, then he and Lucas are gonna be at odds with each
at
other,
odds, yeah, because Lucas
yeah.
has a little bit of that Curtis thing.
I
You
was
know?
gonna say because he's gentle. He doesn't.
You weren't gonna say because he's self-righteous and
No, no.
well,
Gosh.
he was with Brad.
Well, Brad
Remember
is a bit of a
remember
mess
Brad?
himself. I mean, I
But
know
such
we
a
like Brad.
lovable
He's
mess.
I know. Gia has a thing, a soft spot
I've got a soft spot for the
for people who
people
live
that make
outside the
really, really
law.
murky decisions.
Well, yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's okay.
speaking of Sidwell,
Yes.
okay, so I actually felt like a moment of tenderness for him when
Mhm.
he was so frightened to find
Mhm.
out that his son had been in that fire.
I did not, but go
You
ahead.
did not? I mean, it was his own fault, of course.
Yes.
But he
Yes.
had that moment of like, oh my God, look what I almost did.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like his love for his child is genuine.
Well, sure, I guess, but I don't know how you can have all those feelings. Well, and I guess he hadn't intended on anybody being in Charlie's bar, so maybe he gets a
So
point
he
for that.
said, yeah.
Right, right. But I just feel like if you know what love is, if you know how important your child is, then how
I
could
want to know
you
what love is.
I want you to show me. Oh man. I don't know what's happening tonight,
Sorry,
everybody.
we can't help ourselves. I'm drinking seltzer, so whoever that is that
Yeah.
left the bad review, it's just seltzer tonight.
And I just got tap water, but
This is just how our brains work, or not.
yeah, or not. But I just don't know how you can sort of leave this path of destruction, like, and knowing that it's gonna feel just as terrible for the parents of those people, you know? It just seems like
Okay, well, how do you square yourself with Sonny's actions then?
Sonny is more charming and
Sonny has dimples.
yeah, he's friends with Jason.
So, did you find it jarring at all when we had that conversation with Sonny and Jason?
I did, yeah,
I
yeah,
felt like
where
that was a really bold, interesting choice on the writer's part
it
to once
was.
again put it in our face that this man
Mhm.
is really a mobster, you know, and he kills.
Mhm.
That's part of his business.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Well, I didn't like that he was sort of being, carried back to his old sort of ways of thinking and handling things, but I get it, I understand why he was driven there. But I liked that Jason was also sort of workshopping other ideas that didn't involve killing
Yeah,
Marco,
yeah, he was
you
trying to
know?
like walk him back from that a little
Like he
bit. Like,
did save
okay, but
Christina.
yeah, yeah,
There's some other things
but
we could
yeah,
try.
good
Uh,
idea, but yeah,
let's put a pin in that.
yeah.
But yeah, I know I'm a hypocrite because I do forgive a lot of the things Sonny does. I guess I haven't seen enough warmth from Sidwell. He
Well,
seems
no,
just
yeah,
sinister
all we know about Sidwell is he's the evil mastermind behind everything at the moment.
at the
But I
moment.
just
Yeah.
feel like, and I mean, I guess this is what happens in real life. Mobsters
Hmm.
or killers or
Right.
bad
Right.
bad people too.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
one minute they are professing their love for family, and you
Hmm.
feel it, and it feels
Hmm.
real. He's at a christening,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the
Right.
next
Right.
moment he's ordering the death of an
Yeah.
opponent's child,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Hmm.
and
And
you
I
have to
thought,
kind of square those two things in your head about like this is who this guy is.
yep, just
Uh,
the nature of the beast. But
yeah,
hadn't they had some sort of code before that the children were off limits? I mean, I know that code had been sort of violated before, but wasn't that sort of the working sort of code
I don't
among the
remember that.
families?
You
I
mean
don't know.
in this particular show, or just in general?
It,
Mobsters did.
I can't speak to real life mobsters.
I bet you can. Didn't you live near a bunch of mobsters or something?
I did feel like I worked for a landscaping company that might have been run by a low level mobster.
Yeah,
Um, but anyway,
I'm
I
putting
thought
in do mobsters kill children?
I thought that was the case in Port Charles, like Selena, like when Selena's name came up between Jason and Dante. Jason's like, yeah, I can't see Selena ever hurting Christina, you know. And how weird and shitty, I guess clever was it to frame Selena to use her men to carry
Oh
out.
yeah, that was kind of clever, and we hadn't seen her in
No.
ages.
Did you like her dress? I sort of did.
I really liked her dress. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Didn't care to see her again, but I did like
No,
the dress.
the two of them together was almost like too
Yeah,
much
ugh.
of the like cartoon crime
Yeah,
boss kind
cartoon
of
villains.
thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Right. Yeah.
Um, this the grotesquely false myth that the mafia doesn't kill children. Hmm.
Your search history is gonna raise all kinds of red flags.
Yeah, I know. Um,
They'd be
anyway,
like,
I
"What's her deal? She's like an English major, but she might
yeah,
also be a
she knows what a
mobster."
direct object is, but she
She really shone as a mobster.
yeah, diagram that. Um, anyway, so the mobster stuff is in full force right now, and
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Now, can I digress a little bit from
it's
what
alright
we're
with
talking?
me. I mean, it's the reviewers that are
No,
like,
and I'm sticking to the show, but
oh,
I'm
okay.
going moving away from Sunny
Oh, yes, of course, yes.
directly, and jumping ahead to Laura and Lulu, and I continue to hate Lulu even more.
Yeah,
What was that?
yes.
What
That
was
was
that
me going,
noise? Okay.
that's how I
Thank
feel
you.
about Lulu. Telling her mother her business. I'm like,
And
oh
like
my
getting her to
God.
like compromise her principles and stuff. I
And she
mean,
does this
Jesus.
little head tilt when she's doing it, like, you know what you need to be doing. It's
Yeah,
like,
like I know everything. I was in a
oh,
coma
yeah.
for 4 years, so let me tell you what to do.
Yeah, yeah, I was kind of internally raging. There was nobody home with me to voice
To turn to.
how annoyed I was with that character at that
Yeah.
moment. But
Yeah.
if I were Laura, I would have. I mean, Laura was getting a little animated, but not at
Mhm.
Lulu particularly. Just
Right, right. Yeah, she should have been like, "Do you know me at all? Do you really
yeah.
think that I'm that lax
Like,
as a."
do you think I was born yesterday? And
Yeah, and who the fuck
listen,
are
little
you
girl.
again?
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like listen, little girl. I was running
Yeah.
this town while you were
Yeah.
sleeping.
Yeah. And by the way, where the fuck is Charlotte? How
Yeah,
about how about you insert yourself in her business?
that'll
Mm.
be our next good T-shirt. Where the fuck is Charlotte?
That would be a great T-shirt.
People would be like, "Who's Charlotte?" Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
many T-shirts, so little time to remember all our
Yeah.
great ideas.
Yeah,
But
but,
yeah, so that was annoying.
yeah, and I don't know if it was good or bad that Laura was like, "Okay, listen, here's what I know. There's this Sidwell guy who's a fucker. Sonny's told me these things, sort of trying to let Lulu know there might be a better way to maybe approach all of
Yeah, but
these
none of
things."
it's Lulu's business. Lulu like thinks being a reporter means that she's,
I know. Suddenly she's a reporter
yeah,
again.
yeah. And I wish she'd get like knocked back to like writing the recipe page or something like that. Do they still have that? Do they have like
Yeah, some papers do, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, are, like, covering, like, the
so sweet.
rotary and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Um.
yeah, that'd be good.
Anyway, yeah, that was annoying.
Yeah.
Who else did we have?
Well, we had the whole, Brit, Rocco,
Oh, right,
Danny
yeah, yeah. So
thing.
when Brooklyn was saying to Faux Maxie that she
Mhm.
was gonna leave the folder out for Rocco to find, but she changed her
Right,
mind. But she
right.
did leave the folder out for Rocco to find, or was that truly an accident?
Yeah, she she accidentally left it out for him to find, but didn't deliberately leave it out for him to find. So
So that was simply an accident, even though
I
like
guess, even though it was,
everybody has seen this folder now. Like she's
and that's the room everybody goes through,
yeah,
right? So yeah, so
but
yeah,
we are to
I don't
believe
know.
that she didn't do that on purpose. That she
Right, right, and she thinks she occupies the moral high ground, but of course
yeah,
she does she's lost that now, sadly.
yeah. Um, but interesting. I don't know if I've blanked out that era, but I really don't
Mhm.
have any of that in my head when Britt was carrying Rocco and
I don't
uh
remember all that whole I mean, we've had it explained to us now, but
we have right, yeah.
I still don't really remember it vividly either. I don't know. Maybe
So
we
I
were
guess
busy.
we might have been working and stuff, but I guess that just the information that Lulu didn't carry him was supposed to be the earth-shattering information. Like I really thought she
Right.
was going to try to somehow prove that Lulu wasn't the biological mother or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
right, right. Yeah, I guess, like so I guess the vagina you come out of matters.
Yeah, so I guess the fact that you'd had a surrogate is like
Mhm.
gonna rock your world. I mean, I suppose it would. I don't know.
I guess it would. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, hmm, that's hard.
Mm.
It's hard to imagine, isn't it? I only know the one vagina that came out.
You and your mother were close then?
Maybe that's why I painted the living room the color of a vagina. I don't know.
You were just trying to crawl back in. I've had
Totally.
enough. I've had
Totally, yeah.
enough.
She said I was 3 weeks late, so that sounds like someone who didn't wanna be here
Oh
to
my
hear
God, 3 weeks late. That's terrible. How mean were you? That was bad.
I know. It's almost 10 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway.
Um, anyway, so I guess that would be enough. I continue to like those boys. They are excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny, isn't it, that they've come upon, like, these 2 kids who really could sort of steal the show,
And
if
isn't
they
it
let
funny
them.
that we couldn't tell them apart before and now they're so
Yeah.
distinct to me, but
Yeah,
we just
yeah.
needed to see them more frequently, I
Mhm. Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
Um,
right. Mhm.
but yeah, they are playing it like so well, the two of them. And I like their little
Mhm.
conversation with Emma today.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
also didn't remember that whole stuff about the britch and the that she was not
Yeah, I
liked
don't
by
remember her being
Brit.
part of that, right? Because Emma was so innocent back in those
Yeah,
days, but
and
yeah,
sweet and yeah, she's a whole
sweet, yeah,
different gal now. But
yeah, but,
did you like
yeah.
the scene with Emma and the and what's it called? Outpost and
Outback, the
Outback.
dog.
Yeah, that's
It
because
is
it's
a
just
weird
as stupid.
yeah, it
Outpost,
is.
Outback.
It's
Yeah,
a weird name for a dog, a place. I mean, I guess I don't know.
Outback. I mean, yeah, they could have come up with something,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
something sort of Australian sounding that was a little more like a name, right?
Mhm. Yeah, sure,
I'm not
sure.
sure what. Maybe like wombat.
Ooh, that would be cute. That'd be
Yeah.
cute. Yeah.
Anyway, did you like that scene with them and Geo and the shoes and the you know?
Yeah, that was cute, and I think she's great with Gio, like, being supportive, but trying to keep him from doing anything rash, you know?
Yeah, she pushes a little bit, but she does it in a level-headed way
Yeah,
that
yeah.
doesn't get him. I'm a
Mhm,
little like I hate to say this because I love this actor,
mhm.
um, but and it probably tracks, but I'm a little bit and this just sounds so judgy, but I feel like he's being a little dramatic.
He
Like
is being a little dramatic, yeah.
a little bit like I'm like, "You are Dante's son, aren't you? Because 'Cause you're being like quite the baby right now," like a little bit of a like a,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah, yeah, the way he sets his jaw or something when he's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, which is
Mhm,
just feels so but, I mean, that
mhm,
could really be a way you would react to all this stuff, but I kind of feel like
mhm,
I wish when he's with Emma, who is so lovely and supportive, that
mhm.
he could let go of the, like it's just this, like, wounded boy drama, and,
Yeah, but I guess it's
it's
kind of
legit. It's
it's legit.
legit.
Yeah, it runs pretty deep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This reflects more poorly on me than on this character. But I was just like, oh, you really are Dante's son, because he does that too, where he's like,
Yeah.
oh, the whole world. It's like the whole world is against
Yeah.
me. It's all
Yeah. Yeah.
like he's just so wrapped up in himself right now, which of course he would be. I
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
get it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah. I think maybe I don't this isn't much of a defense, but maybe because he knows Emma cares about him so much, he doesn't feel like he has to pretend that things are okay, you know?
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah, it is. He kind of tilts his head and sets his jaw and does this
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
And
I
when he
don't
saw
know.
Tracy, like his initial reaction is just to sort of, grit his teeth and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. But I thought, I mean, he sort of called her out in a smart way. Like this wasn't really about my safety, it's about taking
yeah.
Sonny down. And I like that he had the sort of perspective to see that. And I like his loyalty to Sonny.
Do you think Tracy is truly doing this to take Sunny down, or do you think she's actually concerned about Gio's well-being?
I think she's concerned about Gia's well-being, but I think she would also love to take Sonny
So
down.
it's
Yeah.
both, yeah.
Yeah, but I do think she
Yeah.
genuinely cares about Gio.
I think she does too, and her like my aunts were like this, like her
Mm.
like once you're on her team, like you're her
Yeah,
family, like
yeah,
that's it.
uh-huh,
You are
yeah,
like
uh-huh,
yeah, she cares more about you than anybody. It's like the
yeah.
quartermates are so important in her mind,
Mhm,
and it's
mhm,
kind of cool,
mhm. Yeah,
but kind of overwhelming too. Uh,
yeah.
but anyway, she had another nice like sort of kimono robe thing going on
I
today.
liked it. It was a little more bohemian, and I'm thinking,
Yeah,
"Okay, okay, maybe I could do that, Tracy." But we
yeah,
still
the
needed
one that
to
wears. Well, where are we gonna find you a thing like
I
that?
think I have something, Gia. I think I have some. I just need the
What?
accessor I know. We'll see. We'll see.
Like
But
a
we got
silky thing like that? A painted silk kind of a.
it looked well, it didn't
Not
seem
it's they're not
silk.
wool, like I know a lot of your is there a flannel and wool is kind of your bag, right?
It's a I think it's a cottony thing. It's more colorful than some of the stuff she wears, but I think it'll work. I think
All
we just
right.
gotta
Okay.
tame the hair, I think,
Oh
somehow.
yeah, well that'll be the fun part. Actually, I don't remember the French Babe, but there's a YouTube on everything under the sun.
Yeah.
So
We could just stick some, like, knitting needles in my hair and stuff like that. She's always
yeah,
got stuff
yeah,
in her hair too, but,
yeah.
anyway, we
Anyway,
digress again.
I kind of hate to take away the magic of just disembodied voices for people. They'll be like, we'll probably see a massive drop off in listeners.
I'll be like, "What the fuck is that?"
Who the hell are these old ladies?
That's supposed to be Ava and Tracy? What?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll
uh,
see, we'll see. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
yeah, it will.
Yeah. So, okay, so we had the Emma stuff, the Rocco. So Rocco is okay, he's about to confront Lulu, right? Or he just started to. Okay,
Yes, yeah,
right.
yeah,
So, and it is kind of odd how it's very much like what happened to Gio, except for
yeah.
you
Right,
know.
right, yeah. Um, and I mean, are we going to see some more cat fights then when this like?
Oh, I'm afraid so. Yeah.
Oy, oy, oy.
Yeah, I
Um,
know. And then like whose side will Dante and Chase take this
Oh my
time?
god,
You
they
know?
should just like be like, I'm gonna lock you two in a room, and
Yeah, we're
like they
out.
should do what they did with
Yeah,
Dante and Chase, which kind
put
of
them in
worked,
jail. Kind of. Yeah, kind
kind of
of.
sorta, but
Mhm. Yeah, I would support
I
that,
don't know.
putting them in
You know,
jail.
we got to see more of that blouse on Brooklyn that you didn't like.
Yeah, we did. I think I decided for sure I don't like it.
I think like one thing they could do with her that might help. Partly it's a silhouette of the like that top. I
Mhm.
didn't mind the colors were kind of cool, but like it was so like rounded and balloony looking. Like do that.
Yeah,
What do you call that top shape? Peplum? Peplum?
something like that.
thing. You know what I'm talking about? Where it
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think
it goes in and then it has like a little, almost like a little skirt or
or
something, but
yeah.
so
Uh-huh.
that it's not such a boxy or round, so you see a little bit of a shape. And then, for
Mhm.
God's sakes, let her wear, some sandals or like,
Sandals, and I think even, like, a lighter colored pants or something. I
yeah,
don't
like it's summer in Port Charles. It's 4th of
Yeah,
July.
yeah, and I know people say black is slimming, but I don't think we care, we just want her to look her best. That's all.
Yeah, and younger and I mean, she works for a fashion,
Mhm.
conglomerate kind of thing. That's part of the
Yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
Like if she were, I don't know, some other profession,
Mhm. Yeah.
it might not be as crucial to be sort of fashionable. But yeah,
Mhm.
I just feel like they're hitting the wrong note. But who knows?
Mhm.
Maybe this is what that actor is wanting. So
Maybe, maybe.
who are we to say? Um,
I guess we have to support her, whatever the case.
right, right, yes. Um,
We like her.
but
I
I found it frustrating. I feel like they dress her as the same age as like Laura.
Yeah, yeah, they
You know.
do. Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and I sometimes I'm frustrated with Laura's ensembles as well.
Yeah, sometimes they go super frumpy, don't they?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, she should be a hot mare. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
anyway, let's see. Who else did we have? Well, we had some action with Vaughn and
Oh, yeah, I didn't like
Josh.
that. I didn't like it when he just well, first he said, "When we get to know each other better," and then he, like, moved in for this big
And the way we
kiss.
get to know each other better is by my sticking my tongue down your throat. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, the first thing I noticed with that scene is
Mhm,
when he came upon her
mhm,
and she was standing there and isn't aware of him yet. He
mhm,
grabs her arm. He grabs her upper arm.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah. You don't
And
like that? Mhm.
I don't like that. I just think
I don't
that
either.
uh
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anybody I like that grabs my upper arm. Like I think that would be the last thing you'd do. It's such a controlling move, you
It
know?
is. Yeah, I can't think of anybody ever really doing that in a friendly way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um so he
Mhm.
does that and then he did it later in the scene and then when they have the big kiss, he like grabs her head and then maybe that's sexy, I don't know, but I just feel like he's directing her body all the time, you
Yeah,
know?
and it's sort of a he's dominating her. We don't like
Yeah,
that.
and I mean, I love his hair,
Oh.
and
So you'll forgive a lot.
I will forgive a lot. I wanna like him, but I'm not liking and I love Captain Kirk, but he's also I think of that era, that arm grabbing era. If you watch
Mhm.
old movies, like old black and whites,
Yeah, yeah, it's like a romantic thing when they grab a woman's arm and pull her towards them.
yeah, there's that, and there's also just anywhere they go, like, it also used to happen on Rockford Files all the time too. Like,
Mhm,
I don't know
mhm.
what era they decided women could walk on their own without having some guy, like, even just like a hand on the elbow kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
uh-huh.
Jesus Christ, I'm so glad I didn't have to go through that time frame. I've been like,
Mhm, mhm.
I don't like somebody being that close to me. Number one, just like observe the bubble of space around me. But
If we
it just feels so oppressive.
I do know, and, also just a heads up, everybody, whoever all get together for, like, a party, don't you
Don't
dare touch
grab
Gia's
my upper
arm.
arm. Well, I just can't
Uh,
think of when I'd ever do that to anybody. I
yeah,
never
I mean,
would.
maybe, like, if somebody were about to, like, slip off a ledge or something, maybe
I
that's when it's
suppose so.
acceptable, maybe, I guess.
I
Or
might
would you
just
rather be
stomp on their fingers. Like,
I don't know how to respond to that, but, but it does seem like between him and what's his name, Brennan, There's
Oh
I and
yeah, we had a little Brennan action too.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just feels like there's a sort of a sexist kind of undertone with everything having to do with
Right.
Joss and
Well,
maybe women in general, you know.
and maybe that's what they were going for because the whole
Yeah.
James Bondy vibe. That was
Very,
very
yeah,
patriarchal,
very,
sexist
yeah.
thing. Why I
Mhm.
love those movies more than anything, I don't know.
Mhm.
What is it with me?
Because you saw Daniel Craig in a Speedo? Could that be it?
I like that too, but I loved Bond movies long before Daniel Craig. I like the cheesy ones with Roger Moore. I
Yeah,
like them all.
yeah,
I don't know why.
uh-huh. Hmm,
I don't
yeah,
know, but
alright, well,
you know what I
we'll
saw this
unpack that
weekend was
another day. Hmm?
we saw Jaws 2 at the fancy hotel the other night, and I'm
Really?
gonna say that's still a good movie. Fight me.
I don't think I ever I number 1 was scary enough for me, I didn't seek out a number 2.
Okay. All right. Number
Okay,
3 was crap. Don't seek it out. But I think
okay,
number 2 retained some good strong elements, some character development. I enjoyed it.
okay, alright. I'll
I love
get
how
it.
the big shark just comes up and womp, just
Yeah.
take teenagers whole, like
Yeah, that there's something nice about that.
something satisfying about it.
And they have been seen up here, so maybe we should hit the beach.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so Joss and Vaughn, I don't know. I mean, we all knew it was coming.
Yeah, yeah, and
Do
the
we like it?
scene well,
Go
there was
ahead.
this, preview that where it looked like she was telling him, that she didn't care for whatever was going on, but maybe that was staged also, maybe they're staging a breakup or something.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know. Probably.
Um, and we had the sort of reigniting of Joss's hatred for all Sonny and his
Yeah,
whole world, which
yeah.
she
Mhm,
went through and then kind of got over,
yeah.
and now it's ignited again. I feel like it's legit. I feel like that's believable to me in that character. You wouldn't
Yeah,
you feel that way, you
at
know?
her age, yeah, I think you would feel so passionately one way without, weighing all the other tiny things like his charm.
I I want to see. I don't want to see like Sonny brought down, but I want to see more of the aging Sonny losing power. You know how
Mhm,
we've talked about how black his hair is. I want to
mhm,
see Sonny
mhm.
applying the hair dye or going and having
Ooh,
it applied. I want to see
yeah. Uh-huh.
Sonny feeling old and feeling the loss of power and grasping for it
Mhm,
still.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
them to weave all of that into his story.
That would be fascinating. And also, like, I think, well, up until this latest explosion, he was losing his taste for all of it. Like he was realizing that the cost was too high,
Yeah,
and
yeah. And now is he being altruistic by not selling out to Sidwell because, you know,
yeah, sort of like
Sidwell supposedly is so much worse?
yeah, I think
Um,
that's his argument there. Like he's still sort of a mystery how deep his evil runs.
but wouldn't it be interesting if we could see Sonny talking to somebody about, it's partly that, but it's partly I'm like giving up power is admitting that I'm on my way out, like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
dealing grappling with your own mortality, and because he just
Mhm.
had a heart issue. We
Mhm.
haven't had
Yeah.
no follow-up on how the heart thing,
Oh, he's fine. He's fine,
he's
Gia.
just like he's bounced back just fine.
It's weird how the older people can bounce back, but Kai is doomed, you know?
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
well, he can't play football.
No. I was thinking, like, if that would be a great conversation for Sunny to have with Laura, because she's sort of a safe space and she's got
That's
all the
true.
perspective,
Yeah,
that would
that would
be
be a good one. Yeah,
nice to see. Hmm.
yeah, and because he and Jason just kind of speak in like mobster grunting,
And Jason becomes, like, so much of a statue, like, when they're around other
right,
people,
right.
and that seems like I don't know, that's kind of I would say almost overacting, you know?
Yeah, he almost like he spreads his legs further apart and like
Yeah,
acts
and
more
like
like a
folds his
bodyguard
hand.
kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know, I don't know. I
yeah.
mean,
We're
we
all
know it's
about the
you,
body
Jason.
language today. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, it would even be interesting to see Sonny like feeling that Jason was taking over, or that Jason was overstepping, or to
Mm,
see
mhm.
Jason doubting Sonny's
Yeah,
decisions or
right,
something, like
right.
that maybe,
Yeah.
that Sonny was losing it a little bit or something.
Mhm.
I don't know. I would just like to see that. They could do it. They've done some
Yeah.
really sensitive things about aging, like the Alzheimer's
Mhm.
storyline.
Yeah, that was one of
Um,
the best things they did, I think.
yeah, and so I think they could handle it. Like, wouldn't you love to see Sonny dyeing his
Mhm.
hair with the towel around his neck, and like,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how you
Maybe
do it. I've never dyed my hair, but
Donna comes in like, "Daddy, what the hell?"
but that would be he would be so vulnerable in that moment.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
That would be cool. Um,
Yeah. Hmm.
Anyway, speaking of Kai, we'll do a lateral move. So Kai and
Okay.
Trina
Yeah.
had the uncomfortable chaise lounge chairs where they had to
Oh,
crane their neck.
I
Yeah.
maybe that's why my neck hurts. I was thinking like they can't
In
do all
sympathy,
these
you were
scenes.
lifting your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you gotta stop doing these scenes where people are talking with their heads like awkwardly lifted off of their lounge chairs, you know? It just was awkward.
I know, and sometimes they get up and like turn, sit on the
Yeah,
lounge chairs, and
yeah.
that's a little better. But it's like, how about somebody just gets one of those wedge pillows? Like
Yeah,
you can get
yeah.
attractive ones
Adjust
with the
yeah.
Metrocorp monogram or something.
They could adjust those lounge chairs, I would think,
That could be
but
something the boys have to come do. Like the people could just snap their fingers, when they need somebody to
yeah.
adjust their lounge chair.
You think the boys are gonna be bitching,
The
like, every single hour they're working at that pool.
Yeah, yeah, wouldn't that be funny? Like
Yeah.
if they had to do stuff like that for the uber rich.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Um, but anyway, I continue to find Kai just sort of aggravating and irritatingly young and dopey, and I feel zero chemistry between he and Trina.
Yeah,
They keep
more and more.
saying it. They say it to
Right.
each other, but
Right, right.
I
Yeah,
don't believe it.
we don't believe it. No, he's becoming sort of more and more simple and,
Yeah,
like he's got like a 2 or 3 basic rules he lives by and,
yeah,
that's it.
like a
And then
big dope.
Trina's got this whole complicated history and,
Yeah, she just seems so much older and more sophisticated,
yeah.
and he's been, duped by Drew, and
Oh,
I don't know.
completely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So he didn't it sounds like he knows he did something wrong and is trying to avoid ever having to tell her, right?
You mean, oh, because he told Drew? Yeah, right. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
I know. That's gonna
Yeah,
be bad.
very bad.
She's gonna dump him, and that will be appropriate.
It will
Um,
it will be appropriate. Oh, and then, if we can shift also laterally,
yeah, we're just going around the pool now.
yeah, yeah. So when Willow comes along and
Yep.
Wiley
Yeah.
sees her,
Uh,
I thought that was a nice heartbreaking moment when she's crying and she's trying to, like, keep it together, I
are
thought she
you
did a pretty
admitting that
good
Wiley did something decent there?
No, no, I'm talking about Willow.
Oh, just
I didn't
Willow.
I
Okay.
Wiley could have been anybody.
Could have just been a
A
block of
rolled up
tofu for
towel.
all you know. Yeah, rolled up towel.
So somebody comes along, "Oh, Willow, that's not Wiley, that's a
That's a
towel."
rolled up towel. Like she is fragile right now. She might
Very
believe
fragile.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking. That was heartbreaking.
Mhm.
And this new Michael is, he has this sort of calmness about him
Mhm.
that the
Yeah.
old Michael didn't have. The old Michael felt a little more nervous in his movements and
Yeah,
everything. And
yeah, and maybe, like, a little like, he definitely looked younger, I guess, and maybe that had something to do with it, a little bit restless, like, wasn't
and then
quite
so
as
this guy, like,
sure.
he saw Willow there right when he got there, but
Yeah.
he just kind of went with it. I'm not sure what he
Mhm.
thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that kind of broke my heart. And
Mhm.
like, I mean, even as Michael, like he kind of seemed like annoyed in that last moment when he was like, he said something,
Yeah.
"You need to go now,"
Yeah.
and I was like, but that's
Mhm.
still got to break his heart too,
I
like.
think so, because he knows. I mean, he can't ignore how much Wiley misses his mom, and I was hoping that maybe he would come to the realization that, ooh, now, like, well, he I don't know if he knows Drew's out of town, but this is a perfect time to let Willow see the kids, without Drew around, and maybe come to some sort of understanding, like,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
was what Nina's plan, right? To try to get them.
And yeah, to have an agreement where Drew was not present, but she
Yeah,
could still see the
yeah.
kids, But
Mhm.
I think they're implying that Willow would be the one who would say no to that. That she's gonna double
Mhm.
down on
Mhm.
Drew in her life, and so she wouldn't even go for
Yeah.
that plan because
Yeah,
she's
but if
so stupid.
she's very stupid, but if Michael was kind, I think maybe she would see that, like, what she was telling herself and what Drew was telling her about Michael wasn't true.
Right, right. But
I don't know, but
we
that would
know
take
she
longer
doesn't think.
than, like, a couple of hours, at
Yeah,
the pool.
yeah.
So,
Speaking of
yeah.
stupid, how about
Mhm.
Christina in that fire?
There we kind of worked our way around that, didn't we? I know, it's like, would you not just walk out the door? You have
Well,
time.
initially, she had plenty of time to go out the front
Yeah.
door, and then she leaves it too
Yeah.
long. But apparently,
Yeah.
there's a back door that she's known about,
I know, she forces Marco to come through
and she
just so
gets
they
this
can leave the
tiny little she gets this
Yeah.
tiny little fire extinguisher out
Yeah.
that
Oh, I know, that was dumb. That
that
was dumb.
couldn't even squash a baked Alaska or anything, and
Yeah,
she's like,
true.
yeah.
Mhm.
But so it takes Marco coming in to remind her, so he has to
Mhm.
risk his life to.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Mhm.
I think it wasn't
Yeah.
her fault. I just think they should have had bigger flames
Mhm.
blocking that front door initially, so I wouldn't be thinking like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck are you
Yeah.
doing?
Right, right.
Go out the
Yeah.
door!"
Right.
Um,
Uh-huh. Yeah, they could have staged it so that she didn't look quite
so
as
she didn't look quite as
dumb.
numb. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Although, don't you think now is the perfect time for her to tell Molly everything? You know?
Oh, I don't know. Do you think that? I mean,
I I
are
don't
you just
know.
you're just saying that in an evil way because you know that'll be the end of their
No, I was thinking,
relationship?
like, if ever Molly is gonna forgive her, it's now,
Oh,
you
because
know?
she was so scared about losing her. That
Yeah,
could be,
yeah.
yeah. But,
But
no, I
I
think
don't
they just cemented I think she and her mother just
Yeah,
cemented their evil deal
yeah,
to never
yeah.
tell. Yeah,
Right, right. Yeah, because everything's lovely right now.
yeah, right.
Yeah, and I was kinda thinking, like, the choices they made, like, to have Marco be the one that comes in and saves her, I was thinking, like, what would have happened if he had been, like, maybe not burned to the extent that Michael was, but what if he was hospitalized? Then it would have been fun to see Sidwell just, like, killing himself for being responsible for
Yeah,
that?
yeah, right, yeah.
I would have
It's these characters are very difficult to kinda get your brain around, some of them.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway,
Anyway.
I did like how Lucas was, you know,
Yeah,
there
he's
for
he's a
Marco.
he's a lovely guy, and they
Mhm.
do seem to, like, really care about each other, which is a
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
nice
Mhm.
to see.
Mhm.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
I mean, they do have some I mean, I guess I'm still, like, annoyed with various things, but I feel like Hospital right
Mhm.
now is on a good track.
I think so, yeah, 'cause I've still been wanting to watch it, like, the
Yeah,
day it airs, so that's
yeah.
a
And
vote
I'm
of
like, there's a
confidence.
lot of characters, like, I don't just instantly like, "Oh god, another scene with
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah." I'm like
I know.
I'm more like, "Oh, good, Emma," like, or
Yeah, I
whoever, I'm
know.
kinda
Imagine
yeah,
that. We're happy to see Emma and the
I
boys,
know.
like,
We're
because
we're
usually
idiots. We're
we're
just
total
idiots for this.
idiots. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, we could put that on our headstones if we
we're idiots, yeah, like,
yeah.
I don't know. Put that on our T-shirts, on hats,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
everything, yeah. Um, but like, who would have ever thought we'd be big fans of a couple of teenage boys,
I know, I know. I like teenage boys. They kind of crack me up anyway. I mean, I wouldn't want to deal with them 24/7 or anything, but
No, no, but it's also hard to do well, like, to do a character like that well.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
usually on these shows, I don't know, they're either, like, I don't they're super precocious or obnoxious or something, they're not as sympathetic.
Right. And these guys are just dopey boys. I mean, you must have fond memories of your brothers at those ages.
Oh, they were dopey, sure. Sure. Yeah,
Meaning that they
yeah.
smoked a lot of dopey is
Oh, it
all
was
that.
super, super dopey. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Because
Um
you're older than let's see. Yeah. Well, see, I'm the youngest, so it's weird for me to think like it would
Oh,
be,
yeah, yeah, uh-huh.
like you must have different, more maternal feelings when you have a younger
Yeah, that's
sibling
true.
to, you
That's
know.
definitely true. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
So my brothers were watching out for me, thinking, God, what a
Mhm.
dopey thing. We're gonna have to take care of her the rest of her life.
Put a camera in your house. She's fallen. Who should we call?
Anyway, so
Mhm.
yeah, they're good at being teenagers. It's true.
Mhm. Yeah, they're sort of like they're not they're not, like, overdoing it. They're just sort of they seem like they make it look easy, basically,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you
like they're
know?
not acting at all.
Yeah, like, they still don't realize they're on a TV show.
What was that movie where the people didn't realize they were? Was that what the hell? It was like a Big Brother. Jim
Mhm.
Carrey. It was like, what was that
Oh,
called?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
But wasn't that
Mhm.
kind of the premise? Like they didn't know they were. I don't know. Can't think
Maybe.
of it. But
Yeah, yeah.
anyway,
Anyway,
did we cover it all on this
I
July
think
4th Eve,
I
July
think
3rd?
July 3rd, yeah, I think pretty much. I think we did, Gia, and
Do
I
we
do we
have an
know?
episode tomorrow, or is that going to be
That's
like
what
a
I was
repeat?
just wondering. Yeah, it could be a repeat, I'm not
Mm,
sure. Or maybe, well, did they have the sex charged fireworks scene on the actual 4th last year?
I don't know. I don't
Mm,
know.
well, either
I
way, I
don't
guess we'll
remember.
probably show up here Monday, right?
We'll show up there Monday. Yeah, yeah, because we'll have
Yeah,
Monday either way. But
yeah.
yeah, I wish they would, and maybe they can't. But when they show repeats,
Mhm, yeah.
on holidays, why
Mhm.
can't they go back and give us some cool vintage one instead? They do kind of recent repeats. Why do
I
they do
know.
that?
I don't
Like we just
understand that
watched
either,
them.
Gia. Yeah, yeah, I
Now
know.
we both sound like Jiminy Cricket.
I just watched a Jiminy Glick thing earlier today with Conan O'Brien. Have you
Brilliant.
seen
Just
that one?
no. I should
Oh,
I look it up? Is it on YouTube or
yeah.
something?
It
Oh
must
my god.
be, yeah. Oh god, it's so funny, so funny.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Um,
If anybody hasn't checked out Martin Short doing his Jiminy Glick character, if you need a laugh, he's hilarious.
he's he can. I mean, you truly cease to think of Martin Short. I mean, it's just that he's
Yeah.
this guy, and I think that's what happens to his guests too, and they get so
Yeah.
pissed at some of
I know. I know, it is a real test of what these people are
Yeah,
made
it
of, you
really
know?
is. Because man, he can zing like, oh my
Yeah, and
god,
some of them have very thin skin, and they have to turn it around
and
on
they
him.
yeah, and they just
But
gotta take it,
yeah,
and
they
it's very
should. If they're
funny.
smart, they'll just,
Yeah,
like,
they just
take
take it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah.
Anyway, it's kind of like, do you ever watch that Galactanophagus, that Between Two Ferns
Oh, yeah,
guy?
yeah, yeah, we
Zach?
were talking
Yeah,
about that. Yep. Mhm.
yeah. He's
Yeah.
also, super like mean, and it's like
I
so
love a
funny.
smart aleck if they're
Yeah,
aimed in the right direction. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's why you like me.
That's true. That's
That's
true.
true. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, I hope we get a new hospital tomorrow, but probably not. Probably not.
And if
But
not,
anyway,
then we'll just enjoy Monday's episode.
everybody, don't put your sparklers on a cake and be
Please don't
careful.
no need to hurt a cake ever.
I
Oh,
know, cake abuse.
okay.
Just but be
Yeah.
careful of all your digits and
Digits, yeah. Maybe just
make
stay inside and
keep your dogs and cats indoors. Um,
yes, please,
all that
please.
good stuff. My cat doesn't
Mhm.
give a rat's ass about the whole thing.
Really? She's a pretty
Yeah,
chill
she
kitty,
likes
huh?
it. She'll look at it. She'll look at stuff. She like,
Mm,
but
yeah.
she doesn't
Mm,
cower or anything. She's not like
uh,
that. She's a
beat
tortie.
she
Torties are
is
brave.
a
Yeah.
brave kitty, yeah. My little dog B, she any loud boom like that, she tries to sort of crawl into my head.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Well, you're out in the boonies. You shouldn't have too much to deal with,
not
right?
well, not too much, but you can hear them. Can hear them
Yeah.
sometimes, yeah. Anyway,
Anyway, okay, we digress. All right, we
we
will
do.
talk in a few days.
Okay, all right, Gia, you
All
have a good
right.
night.
You too. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you in a few days.
Thank you to our friends around the world.
Yes. Yes. We need
All
you.
right. We do need
Okay.
you. Yeah.
All right. See
Okay.
ya.
Bye, Gia.